Hey, Art Squad, and welcome to Get to Know the Artist. Today we have all the way from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, Leigh Anne Hamlin. Before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsors, 4th Street Design, Community Bank, Southern Eagle, Mr. Bubbles Car Wash, Fitzgerald Utilities, the Harris House, the City of Fitzgerald, Rancho Grande, the Paulk Funeral Home, and the Blue Cottage. Leigh Anne, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey y'all, I'm Leigh Anne. I'm from Fitzgerald, and I'm currently an actress at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. I went to school for musical theater at LaGrange College, and I get to make a living playing dress up, and it doesn't get better than that.
Hey, to get to go to work and just to be somebody else.
Yeah, you just get to play. It's so nice.
So we're going to start off with some rapid fire questions.
All right, let's go.
All right, yes or no? Is cereal soup?
I'm going to say yes. That wasn't a
Why?
statement, but yes. Okay, I'm going to say yes because, first of all, I just think cereal's a great idea, and anything to make it more interesting, I'm in for. You got the wet of the milk / the soup that you drink, and there's stuff in it. So I'm gonna say
all components of soup. What's the best Wi-Fi name you've seen?
Okay, the best Wi-Fi name I've seen a lot of good ones, but when I moved up here, my friends and I sat down and we tried to think of the best name we could think of, and we finally came up with Wi-Fi Art Thou Romeo.
Oh.
So dumb, and I love it.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to steal that.
Please do steal away. It's a good time. I have a lot of fun with it.
Who was your favorite teacher growing up?
That's such a hard question, and I love that that's a hard question because I had so many amazing ones. Yeah, I don't know. I was really blessed. Obviously, I think I'm a little partial to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty cool, I guess. But no, but really, I was super blessed, and all of my teachers growing up were so inspirational and kind, and definitely made me feel. I'm rambling, so you can cut this part out if you want. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop. Okay.
Well, each one has impacted your life, and most people don't realize the everyday interactions that you have.
Yeah.
Influence the people around you, and at Fitzgerald we have so many great teachers that we were blessed with, and just to know that, hey, you have impacted a bunch of people's lives.
Yes, exactly. We spend so much time with our teachers, and I think that they legitimately deserve so much more praise than we can ever give them because they raise us. It's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite musical?
My favorite musical? Okay, there are a lot of answers to this question depending on the kind of musical we're talking about, but broad spectrum, I think I'm going to say Wicked, just because it was one of the first ones that I saw live and I loved it, and obviously Glinda would be a dream. So we're gonna go with Wicked.
That is also my favorite musical, and that was the first Broadway show I got to see on Broadway. And
that was your first? Oh my gosh, what a fantastic first show to see on Broadway.
So I'm gonna go back to New York and go visit Broadway, but can't do that right now.
We're at Broadway until 2021.
Yes, it's sad, but hey, Disney supplied us with Hamilton.
Disney sure did supply us with Hamilton. So at least everyone now has their fix. They see what they're missing. They got to get their butts to New York when it opens, or at least the Fox or Tallahassee.
Somewhere. What's your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert, I really love a good ice cream, and I think I found that Bluebell's, I think it's called Cookie Two-Step, is just amazing. It's like got the chocolate, you got the cookie dough, you got the Oreos. It's fantastic. But they don't sell Bluebell ice cream up here. It's
Are you
very
serious?
yeah, it's so sad.
We're gonna have to ship you some Bluebell ice cream up there.
Listen, if anybody ships me Blue Ball ice cream, I will, I don't know, say thank you.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song, in all honesty, is Britney Spears, either Toxic or Oops, I Did It Again. We love a classic. We love a good, funky Britney. We all know the words. Gets everyone up, moving, partying, you know?
Cannot go wrong with Britney.
You can't go wrong.
Can't
Oops,
go wrong.
a Britney song again.
Yes. What's your favorite board game?
Board game. Fun fact, I've never lost a game of Monopoly in my life.
Secret at winning Monopoly.
The secret at winning Monopoly is deciding beforehand, hey, I'm going to win this game. And then you go and you do it.
Take that advice, everybody. Just
Yeah.
go out and win it.
You've got to do it. You got to say it. This is it. I'm winning. And then you're going to win.
All right. This one's kind of controversial.
Okay.
Pepperoni or cheese pizza?
It is controversial because there is a very correct answer. That correct answer is double pepperoni.
Ooh.
Yeah. We go big or go home around here, baby. Gotta get it.
Double up those toppings.
That's right. I mean, okay, it is controversial because there is a correct answer. Cheese is also accepted and loved. Don't get me wrong. The pepperoni, if presented, should always be chosen, I feel.
But there's still cheese on the pizza.
Yeah.
You're still getting the cheese.
Exactly. So why not give yourself an extra little love of that pepperoni?
Exactly. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I always wanted to be a performer, legitimately always. There's a picture, one of my oldest pictures of me. I was super young and I had my little pink feather boa on and my little tiara and I'm singing, I think, to Oops, I Did It Again, probably on my karaoke that I had. I always wanted to be a singer and I get to do that. And I'm super fortunate to be able to say that. It's awesome. It's a dream every day.
That's awesome. All right, here's some Instagram questions.
Okay, we love some Insta.
And so, how did your theater experience here in Fitzgerald affect your career and love of acting?
To me, I think that's a fantastic question. It's not a how did it affect it because it directly led me into it. Without the program there, I mean, I was exposed to so much with, the help of the Grand Theater and Miss Dorset and the Jacobs. We got to see how it happened. We got to come together as a community, even though there wasn't a full drama class and, funding, but they made it happen for us. And so getting to actually perform on stage and have knowledge of the theater industry at all, and to know these shows and to know these musicals, it's super helpful. And I had a lot of great stuff on my resume going to college, which helped me tenfold.
See, and that just shows just how important the arts are in a community, especially a community the size of Fitzgerald.
Yes, 112%. And even you can ask almost any adult that you know, and you talk about a musical or play, and they're like, oh, well, I was once so-and-so in this. And that's something that no one ever forgets. And there's a reason for that,
And it's kind of a way to, because Blaine and Barbara have been involved with the musical theater program for a long time. Yeah. And it's almost a way when you're meeting new people, almost a lot of students have done the musicals with Mr. Morris and the Jacobs, and it's just kind of a talking point. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like, which one did you do? Oh,
yeah.
We got to do all of these. Oh, no way, I saw that. Because it's also the fact that the community is so supportive of all of the shows that the high school put on and all of the concerts from the middle school and the high school. even the summer programs that are offered, it's amazing. And it does make a difference, because by the community showing their support, they're saying, what you're doing is great. We appreciate it. Keep doing it. And especially when you're coming up and you're unsure, or you have your first solo or your first speaking line on stage, that's really scary. And to have a community that comes out, fills the Grand Theater, it makes you feel fantastic about, you know, the work that you guys created together. You're hooked. And so I'm just really glad to come from such a great community.
And it gets you hooked, and Fitzgerald has got so much talent.
Yeah.
And just thinking that, who would have thought that two people from Fitzgerald would be living their career in Pennsylvania acting together? That's who would have thought?
Who would have thought? And the interesting thing is too, so first of all, Jonathan was my show choir big brother. I think, first of all, just like, oh, crazy, whatever. Both of my the places that I work professionally, Jonathan has also worked, and he worked there before I did. So he's a trailblazer, and he's going and blazing the trail for both of us, I guess. But Fitzgerald's just going to come and take over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for a new role?
I love that question, because I'm actually preparing for one right now. But the first thing I normally do is I read the scripts. I try to familiarize myself with what they're saying, the way they speak, what people say about them, because that tells you, what people say about you is almost more telling than what your character says herself. Once I learned that, everything changed. But so for this one, it's also a musical role that I'm preparing for. And so with the songs, I like to first try to go through and just get a baseline feel for it. Then I learn the words, and eventually after I've learned the music and melody itself, then you can put the two together. And yeah, slowly is the answer.
What are some of your unwritten rules at work?
That's also a fantastic question, because every theater has them, which I think is great. So this year at the Renaissance Fair, everything is changing, obviously. But before, I guess, unwritten rules, you accept whatever is happening. So, you know, one day last year, my character was told that I was going to die via dragon. And so I had to ward off the dragons. And so someone else helped me discover that dragons don't like mustard. So then they also helped me find mustard packets to carry around with me to protect myself from the dragons that may or may not kill me. You accept whatever happens, you know? Or, but that being said, every theater is different, every place you work. And so it is interesting going and learning the unspoken rules, because nobody talks about it. You mess up the rules, people look at you funny, and then you don't do it and you move on. Like, I know some places, one of the most popular things is even just playing music in the dressing rooms. It was fine. It is fine here, because, you know, we're all pumped up for an exciting day outdoors. But sometimes whenever you have stage shows, you want to be respectful of people before they go on, because you don't know what they have to do to prepare mentally and internally. But yeah, it's always interesting. Never know. You find out. It's an experience.
It is. And then what are some of your nicknames that you have for fellow cast members?
Well, so here especially, I would say sometimes they just evolve. A lot of them, especially this year, came from rehearsals and things people would say. Like, one of my really good friends is Brian. His name ended up being T. Peppy from an improv game where that came out, and that's what it was. But even sometimes I think that nicknames can be simple, you know what I mean? So, like, my roommate's name is Caitlin. So when I get really fancy, I'll call her Kate. But I'll even do in a little accent, because accents are the real test of what a nickname is, I feel. So she could be Kate. Kate! Kate! I mean, you know what I mean? It just depends.
Yeah.
And she knows that it's her every time, but I feel like that's the most endearing way to create a true nickname. You can have the word, but it's how you say the word that matters.
Remember that, everybody. Next time you call somebody by their nickname, change up the accent.
It's true. Accent, inflection, your face in general, go for it.
And then, what inspired you to pursue a career in musical theater?
Honestly, what inspired me was I've always wanted to perform. Obviously, we've talked about that earlier with the Britney Spears cassette tape. But I think the thing that really inspired me the most was getting to see my friends that were older than me decide to do that. And it's something that I've talked to Jonathan about a lot too. The fact that he stepped off, and him and John Nash, the fact that they went for it and just said, this is what I want to do. It makes me happy. I'm going to make this my career. And that was a bold move, especially because, that's not something that you normally hear about going well. But nobody that I knew of batted an eye. Everyone supported them. And I thought that was amazing. And that was a really big eye-opening experience for me. But overall, Miss Dorset was such a huge factor for me. The fact that she was so helpful, and Allison and Tillman also were considering theater too, and so she was bending over backwards to help us find places that we were comfortable with and we were excited about going to. And she helped us audition for colleges to get scholarships. She took me to LaGrange to see my first show, which was a chorus line, and we got to meet the professors and see the campus, and it was beautiful. And I remember us talking about it, and she was just like, you belong here. And it was one of those things like, yeah, I do, and thank you for saying that. And so without her, I don't know that I would have ended up pursuing this career, but I did have her, and I did, and I'm so grateful for that.
And it just keeps going back to teachers and their impact on their students.
Yeah, it does. I think a big part of it too is, I have amazingly supportive parents. They, without question, were like, yeah, come on, you're going to go do it. Do the thing. I support you. Get up there. They stood for me when I couldn't, or when I was nervous, or I had stage fright. But hearing that kind of support from someone else outside of your family who doesn't have to say that it makes a world of difference. Miss Dorset showed me that I could do it, that she believed that I could do it, and her faith in me gave me more faith in myself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And inspiring.
She's amazing.
What has been one of the hardest roles you've had?
One of my hardest roles would probably be the last play that I did with my college. It's called August Osage County. It was, it's a really heavy, dark comedy, but it's more of a drama, I would say. The comedy is just in there so you can bear it to get the storyline. Beautifully written. But the really cool thing about it is that we got to perform with our professors on stage. It's about this, the matriarch of this family and her sister, which was my two professors. And then their daughters had to come back because the matriarch's husband was missing. And so they all come home to try to figure out what's up. And you see their entire family system kind of crumble from within. And that was one. I had to have a teenage daughter. And the girl who played my daughter was only 2 years younger than me. And she was my sorority grand little sister. And so that was a challenging role, because there are certain things in acting that you can kind of put yourself into. And even though so there are sometimes people have to play murderers. I have no desire to kill anybody. I just want to put that out there. But I've been mad at people before. And so having even that little tiny access, you can understand kind of where they're coming from. You know what I mean? The hard part about playing a character that's older than you is that they've lived things that you haven't experienced. You literally can't fathom what you don't know. And so it's hard to have to try to assume that and assume at least a mindset as best as you can. And that was kind of what I had to go with. And my directors were fantastic and kind of helping me through that process. But it was hard. And trying the other hard part about it too, which is a lesson that I learned in high school actually, was Crimes of the Heart when I played Lenny. Playing complicated, whenever your character is very conflicted from multiple sides of something, or they're trying to keep it calm, portraying a character who is not okay, but they have to seem like they're okay, is also very difficult. But you get in there, you do it, you find a way to do it healthily. That's the key part, I think. So where you can step away, and there is that separation of my character is literally falling apart right now, but okay, it's 9:30, rehearsal's done, I'm gonna go home as Leigh Anne and do my math homework and be okay, you know. It's a tricky thing to have to learn, but whenever you finally do, the harder roles like that are so fulfilling. But I was Barbara. I played Joy Roberts' character that she played in the movie. It was an amazing role. Yeah, I would love to play her again when I'm older and can actually understand too. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how my view of her kind of changes.
And then what's been the funnest role you've had to play?
I mean, hands down, I gotta say, Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit is a fantastic British comedy. But I played Madame Arcady, who is a psychic medium.
Ooh.
She was larger than life, and she had all of these octaves, and she talked with her face very, very, very much. Oh my gosh, that girl was a trip. Going up there, and you have this weird way of carrying her, and those characters are great because you are living their life for a little bit on stage, and so getting to play someone so carefree and just out there, boy howdy. I felt so carefree and out there for that semester, and it was great.
Oh. And what drives you to keep going when everything seems to be going wrong?
For me, the beauty of acting, and the reason why I decided to be a performer, one, I mean, I love music and I love acting and getting to step into someone else's life and share that bit of their story. But I perform because it makes people happy, and it provides a little bit of goodness sometimes in the world, or if it's a tragedy, it's cathartic and it makes people cry, and you all get to feel the same emotion in that same time. You understand each other and you connect with each other. As an audience, you feel that, you connect. So the thing that keeps me going is knowing that I might be able to make someone else's life a little happier for an hour and a half to 2 hours. But for that hour and a half and 2 hours, I did make them happier. And that's all I ever want to be able to do, you know?
Awesome. And then how has COVID-19 impacted your life, and how have you overcome some of the obstacles?
COVID-19 impacted my life a lot. It impacted everyone's, obviously, but I was in the middle of a murder mystery theater show that we were doing as a dinner theater here at Mount Hope, which is the Renaissance Fair, but under a different name because it's a mansion show that we have, a Victorian mansion. But I was able to do 4 performances, and then unfortunately we had to cancel all the shows. And it was really, really heartbreaking because we prepared for so long, and I really loved my character. She was so quirky and fun, and I got to sing some really tight, like Andrew's Sisters-esque kind of 40s harmonies with 2 of my really good friends too. So it was really tragic, and it was really heartbreaking. So I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I was going to do. I applied for everything, and for about 2 weeks quarantining, that's all that, I did. And that gets to you. And I was really scared because I didn't know what this meant for, long-term career stuff. I didn't know what this meant for my industry. But the great thing about LaGrange College that I really enjoyed, not the great thing, one of the many great things about my college, you have to work on every show in some capacity. So even if you're not cast, you get to find out what you like in the technical world too, which is very important. And so I found out that I really enjoyed sewing and costuming. So I told the seamstress, head seamstress here at our costume shop, Miss Lily, that, if she ever needed help this summer, I would be there, and I'm available and I can sew and I'll help. And I'm very glad that I did, because they called me in to help sew, me and my roommate both. And so we were able to have jobs again, which it came out of left field. And the fact that I worked for a place who knew that it was rough, that they had to cut me from a show, and found another way to employ me and still be in my field, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing, which is a huge reason why I love this company. But so after that, we were trying to just kind of figure out, are we still going to have the Renaissance Fair this season or no? Because we'd all signed contracts already. And I'm very, very fortunate to be one of the people that is still able to be in the show, or in this season this year. They had to cut it down to 10 people, which, when you think about it, like last year, there were around 40 people in the professional cast, and then there were around 40 people in the volunteer cast. And so you have around 80 characters walking around in costume, and this year there were only 10. So the fact that have the opportunity to safely perform at all this year is insane. And I recognize that is something that I should not be taking for granted. And I am absolutely not. I'm so grateful. Because we are outside, our venue's outside, and I don't want to get the number wrong, but it's a whole lot of acres. I mean, it's huge. It's a world. You walk around and there are buildings everywhere with artisan work and amazing, amazing stuff, and food and sites. And there's a whole joust field. It's the second biggest in the nation, and it's insane. And so the fact that I'm able to do that and do the shows, we're all going to be 6 feet apart on stage. They're staging us that way, which is also going to be something that's going to be very different and very new for all of us. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how this pandemic affects this industry moving forward. We joked about it, but it's very sad that Broadway had to shut down this year. That's heartbreaking. That's the core of our industry. That's like all of football getting canceled. NFL, what are you going to do? It's huge. It's heartbreaking. And when something that big happens, you have to step back and pause. And you really suddenly become a lot more grateful for the thing that you're already grateful for, because you realize what your life could be without it and how much it does add by being in it. And I think that's something that does really affect us as performers. But if we're looking on an even larger scale, seeing how the arts have been able to lift everyone up during this pandemic has been such a blessing to get to watch and to get to see and to get to experience. Because this event is something that there is no textbook for. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what we're doing. Nobody knows how long it's going to happen. And it sucks. We try to be optimistic, but it is a really, really tough situation. And whenever we all had to, now we're being socially distant, being careful, but when we had to actively quarantine, that was hard. A lot of people lost their jobs, or even if they had their jobs, you have to try to figure out a way to work from home when every other member of your household is present. it's hard, but the big thing that united us, we had movies, we had TV shows, we had plays, we were able to play music, listen to music. Art is always there for us, and art is always there to unite us. And the beauty of it is that even through this year and how nasty it's been, art is something we can all agree on, because we all watch Hamilton, and in the climax we're all just so into it, and we feel what they're feeling on stage, and that's beautiful. Art is universal. Art bypasses all language barriers. Art is one of the purest forms of love I think that we can do, and when we appreciate it, we're appreciating that love, and we're accepting it into us. And then when we talk about it, we're giving that love. When we perform, when we create it together, we're giving that love. And I just think that's the most beautiful thing that we have,
And you've worded that beautifully.
Thank you. I like art a little bit, can't tell.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I get a little
bit
about it.
So how can people get in contact with you?
So I'm on Facebook, Leigh Anne Hamlin. I'm on Instagram, la.hamlin. I'm on Twitter, but that's mostly just memes and kid jokes that I retweet that make no sense that I laugh at. But if you want to see my sense of humor, there it is. But no, but really, find me on Facebook, reach out to me. I have a professional page and I have a personal page. Contact me on either.
And I will put all that information in the description box below. And if somebody wanted to go see the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, how can they go about doing that?
Yeah, come on up to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair up in Pennsylvania, Manheim to be exact. It is so much fun. This year will be very different, but hey, it's weird. We're going to embrace the weird. We're going to have so much fun doing it. If you're interested in coming, go on the website. And you do have to reserve your ticket ahead of time and reserve your spot for the day, because they are having to be careful with numbers and planning around that. But please get a ticket, reserve, come on up. I will say hi to you, but probably good day and in an English accent.
So, last question. If you could go back and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
If I could tell myself anything, it would be to really just think about what it is that I want, what it is that I love in life, and to follow that with every shred of my being, and to just be open and pour out love. And, don't worry about what people think, because in the end, you're on your path. You're not on theirs. It doesn't matter what they think. If you're doing what you love, if you're being a good person, if you're enjoying your life, then good things are going to come of it, because you're doing what you love. And that's literally all that matters. You're making a difference in the world. You're making people smile. So keep doing you. Don't worry about anybody else. And yeah, keep being a rock star.
Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us today.
I had a lot of fun.
We're so excited, and for those of y'all watching, if y'all want to see more of Get to Know the Artist episodes, make sure you click subscribe and that little bell so you'll get a notification.
Very important.
Thank you so much, Leigh Anne, for talking with us today and inspiring, and we will have to do this again soon.
I'm down. No, thank you so much. I had so much fun, and this is a fantastic idea, and I'm enjoying them so far.
Thank you. We will see you later.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.